Right now, we're going to give you our review of Super Troopers 2. Right now. All right, guys, we just got back from the theaters, and I gotta say, woo, boy. I don't know if it was the 2 beers I had, but I love this film, man. I was laughing the whole time.
It was not the 2 beers.
Okay, I was about to say, man, I had a great time.
So did I.
I was laughing the whole time. I mean, not every single joke hit, but quite a few of them hit. And I gotta say, you gotta go out.
Stitches. I heard you laughing so much.
There was some jokes in there that are so off the wall. So I've never heard jokes like this before, like the flag joke. I'm just laughing, and I don't know. You can really tell that these guys, Broken Lizard, who is the writing team behind this, really have good camaraderie amongst themselves, and it really shines through in Super Troopers 2. So much so that I think I'm gonna go off the beaten path here and tell you I think I like this one better than the first. But see, I come from one where I barely remember the first. Like, I thought it was funny in parts here and there, but it wasn't something that made me laugh out loud. I thought, the booger in the burger thing, or the
spit.
Okay, spit, and then the right meow. But, I mean, these aren't laugh out loud moments. And
Bear fucker was really funny.
Yeah, well, I don't even remember that joke. See, I come from, barely remembering the first. And I thought it was extremely entertaining. So I think this is better than the first. Now, the plot is super weak. Okay, it's just an excuse to you son of a gun wearing green. Just ignore this here on his chest. But yeah, so it's basically super thin, just an excuse for them to get back into those uniforms and do shenanigans. And this movie is basically shenanigans just the whole way through. What do you guys think?
Oh yeah, I'm really happy this got funded. It was crowdfunded.
Indiegogo.
Yes.
It's crazy.
They had to go to some interesting lengths because they made some real stinkers. The last couple. I mean, I kind of like Beer Fest, but some of the other movies were just
and
not
that's
good.
exactly why I was kind of scared. I saw Super Troopers 2 coming out. I was like, oh no, please. I really like the first one, and I still like the first one more than this one.
Yeah,
but this is a great continuation to it.
It may be the first is better.
comedies.
I just don't remember the first. It's been so long. It's been like 17 years. So,
Really? Has it been that long, really?
Yeah,
yeah,
17
16,
years.
17 years.
It's crazy.
Well, that makes the jokes about it happening 3 years ago so much more funny because they look so much older than they did.
Some of the guys look much older. Some of them aged a little well. But Fargo looks exactly the same to me. Maybe a little bit older, but yeah, he looks great. So he's the highlight of the film for me. Just that annoying guy that at work
Plays
because
so well.
because I know people like this, and it's interesting to see that other people have this experience. Just that one guy that fucking annoys you all the damn time. But he's lovable, and you just want to laugh along with everybody. With
Lovable?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say lovable.
He was
just
my
like-
favorite character in the first one,
Lovable
for sure.
in an annoying motherfucking
Yeah.
way. Obviously not lovable and he's a good human being. He's a terrible human being. And he should be shot on the spot.
He's a cartman.
But yeah, he's a cartman, and it's really, really awesome. So basically, it's the storyline is having to do with Canada. So if you get offended easily at Canadian jokes, this is not going to be a film for you. If you're Canadian, you're not going to care because I've been to Canada many times and they don't give a shit. They're pretty laid back there about the whole Canada jokes. And in fact, this film actually flips it up more. The stuff that you would make fun of Canadians about a boot or bout or sorry. They actually flip that and are making fun of the Americans in the way they say it, and the way the Americans are fat and overweight and just has a crazy country right now. And so I thought that was kind of interesting, seeing these Mounties, which are sort of like the mirror version of our Vermont State Patrol. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. I really liked this one. I didn't like it as much as I liked the first one. I think the first one caught at an interesting time. If it really was 17 years ago,
was.
I mean, it's you know,
Easy.
with teenagers, and there was a lot of like toilet humor, and the plot didn't matter, and it just was really fun.
Same thing.
Yeah, but I mean,
And now is a good time for it, I think.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't realize how boring police work is sometimes, especially if you're a
Yeah, you
patrol
just gotta
officer.
Sit there and wait.
There's a lot of sitting and waiting, you know? Obviously, there's excitement when shit goes down, but there's a lot of sitting and waiting and screwing around. And so I'm sure that a lot of police officers
They got
are
their little games going on. They gotta have
kind of,
something.
yeah, exactly, kind of fans of this film. Now, they don't go as far as these guys. This is completely, some of the stuff that
They're
happens in the
fine.
film is completely illegal and would get anybody serious jail time, even in the United States, where we're pretty easy on our police if they do something wrong. But I thought it was just so funny. And which surprises me a little bit, because you mentioned it, that a lot of the Broken Lizard projects haven't been very funny.
No.
I kind of look at the troupe as, oh, they wanted to be like the next National Lampoons, but I never really, you know,
Thought they put out so much content.
just they did, like, it wasn't funny to me. Some of the things that kind of, you know, just went flat. And so Super Troopers 2 had this huge potential to ruin, you know.
I was
That's
worried.
why, I was worried because
I was
of
really
all
worried.
the other films that they've done before.
But I'll tell you this, it doesn't ruin it. These guys, so you'll both like Super Troopers 1 still better?
Yeah.
It's-
But not by a ton though. Like
yeah.
Super Troopers 1 was as excellent. This movie is still very good, and both of these movies are miles ahead. Like over Beer Fest, the club whatever, and then
Club Dread.
and then the restaurant movie that wasn't all that funny.
Slamming
Yeah.
Salmons.
There's some jokes in here that I think the sensibilities of today's market, you could get offended, you know, especially with the female hormone pills and joke. But, you know, this is a throwback to the previous film, like 16, 17 years ago, and I kind of like that they don't give a shit, you know. They're just really just kind of throwing everything out there and trying to be funny, and it's comedy.
Yeah.
It's not really trying to make any political statements. It's
Yeah.
just trying to have you have a great time. And so I can see people with some complaining about some of the jokes in here, but I thought it was great.
So you don't remember much of the first one, but I thought there was an appropriate amount of callbacks to the first film,
Yes.
but it wasn't constantly, hey, remember that our huge success 17 years ago, and that's all, that wasn't, it wasn't the focus.
Yeah, I
and
was
so
glad
there
it
was
wasn't
a
leaning
lot
on
of new
it.
stuff, yeah.
They had Rob Lowe in this, who puts in. Rob Lowe. Every time Rob Lowe shows up in these fucking roles,
He's great. He's
it's
great.
so
Parks
low.
And, was it Parks and Rec?
Yeah.
Great.
Rob Lowe is a warning sign for me for some films because I think that it's just garbage and schlocky and stuff. But it's the good kind of schlocky. There's these scenes that are outrageous. That end up in a Canadian brothel, and we can talk about some of this in the spoilers.
I was laughing so much at that scene.
But Rob Lowe, the supporting cast, Will Sasso. I'm so
Will
happy
Sasso's
to
great.
see Will Sasso being funny and being great. Okay, so another thing I want to mention. If you're French, you're probably going to get offended because there's lots of making fun of the French accent. And I think the French don't give a shit. They make fun of America. Dude, I've been to France, okay? And I've been to Paris.
They hate us.
And they're assholes. Well, at least the people I ran into. No, there's some good people there. But I was assholes back, and then there was like this camaraderie, and I was like, all right. I love France because I get to be an asshole. They get to be an asshole. It's fucking awesome. So, and so there's a lot of jokes at the expense of French people and French accents. But if you are I think this is one of those films that you probably have to be in the mood for. And if you are, and if you're into Super Troopers, if you're a fan, this is gonna satisfy you. What do you think about somebody coming into this that has never seen Super Troopers? Do you think they'll be lost?
It depends on no, you don't need to know anything about the first. Actually, there's a really clever 15-second. If this is everything that happened in the first film, and then it's over with. It just depends on the person. If you want to see a toilet humor, teenage boy comedy, this is great. everyone in the theater was laughing, men, women, no matter what age group.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna love this film if you got that stick in your ass and you're just like, I don't want to laugh
this
today.
is
What are you
opening
doing
night.
in the movie
They
theater in the
give
first place?
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
They give us rolling papers. Everybody had their own Super Trooper 2 branded
Because
rolling
it
paper.
releases in 420.
It's
That's
420. We saw
why.
419. So everybody in the theater this night is going to be, see if you got it,
They give
is
us some
going to
rolling
be,
paper.
so Super Troopers 2 rolling paper. And it
Brand
even
new
has individual like pictures of them riding that bald eagle. So yeah, it was cool. And the fact that you got this storyline with another incompetent police force. You get the shenanigans back and forth between the two police forces, the Mounties and the state police fucking with each other, and it's just hilarious. And by the end, obviously, they wrap everything up in an interesting or sort of a way where you can be proud, in a sense. Obviously cliche. But still,
and paper thin and not all that good, but it was
Very
funny, so it didn't matter.
So to sum it up, and we'll go to final verdicts next, and try some spoilers here. But I highly recommend that you go out and see it. But to wrap it up, you know how recent dumb toilet humor films and dumb films like this were. Well, it's not recent because Epic Movie and Date Movie, that was a decade ago. But it's that kind, and people still putting out shit like that. The poor Wayans brothers, they were so talented, and now they just put out shit. And now it's
Keenan dropped out.
yeah, it was. I guess Keenan was holding everything together because back in that day, that was super funny. But I guess now it's on Netflix and stuff like this. So it's good to see one of these dumb, because this is a dumbass film, end up being good.
It's very
so
good.
you get one of those dumb good films again, and I'm happy for it. So let's do final verdicts to start with Alex.
So I'm going to start off by saying that I remember Super Troopers 1 being about, like, it wasn't the funniest movie of its era, but it's one that we constantly reference. It's one we constantly talk about, and there's some scenes that I'll just never forget. So that's a 9 out of 10 for me. Like,
Yes,
Super Troopers 1 is a
exactly.
9 out of 10 for me. It may just be that it came out when I was a teenager, and then that's all that was funny to me, but I remember it as a 9. This movie, I don't think was as good. Everyone in the theater was having a great time, which is a good thing for a comedy. The plot was as stupid as I thought it was going to be. Actually, I had some interesting feelings going into this film, going, "Oh man, this is going to be so bad," but it was good. It got me beyond that. So I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10.
Okay. What about you, Joe?
I'm gonna have to agree with Alex. The first one was a bit better. This one did not lean on the first one. It had its own thing going, but still kind of did the same for Super Troopers. There's not really much you could do with the whole cop thing. But it was still amazing. I had so much fun going into this.
You were laughing a lot, Joe.
Yes, it had me laughing throughout the movie. I'm going to give this an 8.
Okay, I'm surprised. Well, I am final verdict over here. I haven't laughed this much in a while, and I really needed this because I've been working real hard, and it was good to just relax a little bit and have a good time, and this film really did that for me. So I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. I really think it's one that you should go out and see. Now, obviously, it has to be your type of comedy. You should know by now whether, toilet kind of humor. There's still really not all that much toilet humor, because I actually don't like, non-stop fart jokes and seeing shit on screen and stuff like that. It's not like that. It's just kind of the dumb,
It's a bit classier.
the sophomoric humor kind of is what I'm talking about. And that's here. And just giving each other shit as guys, that sort of kind of hazing thing that there is, but in a nice way, not a negative way. So that's the kind of comedy that's in this. And honestly, I don't want to rate the first Super Troopers because it's been so long since I've seen it. I saw it once, I thought it was funny, but I don't remember if it to be able to say. But here's the thing, I think this one's better because I remembered this one and I laughed a lot more in this one than I did when I was watching Super Troopers 1 by myself. Might have been the theater environment with everybody having a great time and celebrating it. And since this is the 19th, it actually comes out the 20th. All them people in the theaters were probably fans. But yeah, all right. Well, also there is a stinger at the end. There are bloopers during the credits. I miss this kind of stuff. I haven't seen this kind of stuff since Jackie Chan films where they show, all the accidents
I
and
like the
things.
bloopers.
I like bloopers at the end credits. Now, not every film has to do it. I think it's appropriate for comedies. And then there's something at the very, very end, which these guys missed. They walked out. So stay tuned for that. So if you want, we got a spoiler section.
There's so much to spoil.
There's a lot of, well, not that much. It's a comedy film, but stay tuned for that. If not, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show. Go out and see it. It's a good time. All right, welcome to the spoiler section. Wow.
There's so much dong in this movie.
They do a dong. There's like a full frontal where Rob Lowe turns around and he's like, yeah, what do you Americans? Why are you so scared of brothels and men and women? He's got tits over here. He's got a dong over here.
It's a fake dong.
It is definitely a fake dong.
But he plays with it and he punches it a lot and he's just constantly like
yanking on it and stuff. But it doesn't linger. That's why I don't. Yeah. That's why I thought when he's saying it's done in good taste. It's not like the camera zooms in on it and puts it in your face. It can be effective. If you don't want to look at it, you don't have to look at it.
It happens real quick, and you're just like, did that happen? That was hilarious.
It's also the bloopers of it.
And the fact that it's Rob Lowe doing it and doing a terrible Canadian accent, and so yeah.
There was a naked man.
All of the accents.
Car wheels.
Yeah, naked man doing car wheels when they're on drugs. The cops are like. So the storyline is they find paraphernalia or drugs all.
Well, they're not cops. Remember, they got fired.
Yeah, they get fired.
So they get recruited by his old boss to go on a fishing trip, and they go into this old building, and their chief is like, "Hey, are you guys looking for employment? There's a new jurisdiction I'm about to roll out," and they get their jobs back, and that's how everything falls into place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so eventually, so this is going to become American land. So they figured out that, the lines were drawn all wrong. So this is going to become America when it's actually Canada. So the cops have to, get the populace on their side that they're about to become Americans. And so that's when they meet Rob Lowe, who's the mayor of this Canadian town that they're about to take over. And so that's this interesting thing. And the Canadians hate the Americans and stuff. But they end up finding drugs on the land, and they're like, why are there so many stashes and caches of a wide variety of drugs, weapons, and things like that? And later on, they find out that it's because, when this becomes America, it's going to be a lot more valuable, and then you can sell this kind of stuff. And obviously, you'll see this from a mile away that it's Rob Lowe. He's the bad guy. This mayor turns evil, and
always a mayor.
He sort of betrays the Mounties. You think at first maybe it's the Mounties because that's what the troopers are always. It's always the local police force that are corrupt, and it's ironic because they're a fucking shitty police force. But yeah, so it just had so many great jokes. Like they had these. Just the culture clashes when they're putting up signs of the miles per hour versus the kilometers, the metric system. A guy just rolls up. This old dude is probably not an actor, and he's just like, you over there, you're about, and he tells him what his weight, height is, and he's like, and the Americans are like, what? I have no idea what the guy just said.
It's
that ignorance of Americans.
Fat? I don't get it.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden these kids slamming into the sign, and they're like, is this automated cars? But no, the kids come out and they're like feral kids, and they're all hyped up on fucking drugs. And so they put leashes on the kids. And then the next scene is the kids just like feral dogs. The kids lead them to where they got the shit. And it's just funny jokes like that, that are outrageous. So I really, really enjoyed it, and I thought it was great. Now, all the accents are very poor.
Purposely so.
So, making fun like a motherfucker of the Canadian accent, of the French accent, but also of how dumb Americans are or can be, and
No one is safe.
the ridiculousness of some of our stuff. So no one is safe, and they kind of patched it out there. What else? What else do you guys want to spoil?
There's not a lot to spoil in this movie.
Yeah, I don't really want to spoil individual jokes for you because I could tell you all the different things that made me laugh the most. And I don't really want to, just at the end, just off-color comments that the guys make to each other. Like somebody's balls get hurt, and then just the comment, the guy's like, oh, look.
They wrap him up in a white.
Look, why did they wrap him up in the Japanese flag? And it's because there's a little spot of blood on the white thing from where his balls got cut, and so it looks like the Japanese flag. It doesn't make any sense.
There's a lot of balls references and shaving balls.
Oh, yeah.
There's a bear in this movie. I always like that. Really big bear.
Oh, okay. I don't know why you like the bears, but that's yeah. And he seemed like pretty well trained in the bloopers. Did you see that?
Yeah.
The bear could like do tricks.
What was the end that Alex?
And that's a real bear. It wasn't a CGI bear. I was so happy that a lot of these comedies will rely on CGI for like
expensive.
Some of their stupid ass jokes, and they didn't do it. So.
Yeah, what did we miss?
What do you mean?
We left. We sat through all the bloopers.
Oh, you didn't see the end. Okay, so during the film, Farva just obviously a new hot chick comes into play, and she is this French chick. Yeah, it was the blender. So he makes a bet. He's like, I'm gonna get with that chick. Like he goads himself on. No, you have to do this or that. No, I'll
sit on a cactus.
Yeah.
Like, no.
You have to cut off your pinky toe, with a shovel. And so he makes these bets, and obviously he loses the bet. The girl doesn't have anything to do with him, and she gets with the rookie rabbit. And it pays off in the end where just nobody even asks him, hey man, pay the man. You made a bet, go do it. He just goes off on the side while everybody's doing the victory dance and things. And he just cuts his own pinky off because he's a man of his word. Well, the very ending scene is him putting his bloody pinky into a shake, and he's got, it actually looks quite delicious, strawberries, and he's got the whole setup, and he's just doing it alone at his house with nobody looking at him, and then he drinks it. And he's like, oh, this is delicious. Or he didn't say that, but his facial expressions really sell it to make it that much more funny.
Guess I might just have to go see it again.
Yeah, it's worth seeing again.
Oh yeah, it is.
And also, only other thing I can spoil is there's a Canadian Farva, which was super fun to see.
My favorite. Because, so I don't know the name of the actor, but he was the bodyguard for My Tanya. Mm-hmm. And he was one of my favorite parts of that whole
CIA
movie.
training and everything.
And that's the only thing I wanted to see more of, is the Canadian Farva.
Everyone talks about how every group or every office or every place has their Farva. And so another character says, oh yeah, we have a guy like that at the office. And he's only in there for a couple scenes, but he looks, talks, and everything he does is exactly like Farva. It was great.
Yeah. So I wanted to see a little bit more of that, maybe in the DVD. And honestly, this did so well. Super Troopers made me laugh so much, and it did so well that I hope that this relaunches their careers and their comedy troupe, because I think Broken Lizard just had awful, colossal box office disasters, one right after the other, up until they were like direct to DVD or video, VHS. And this one, I gotta tell you, made me laugh. I'm pretty sure critics are probably gonna hate it, but critics hated the first one, and people loved it.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think the same situation is gonna happen here. It is so good, it's nearly at the level of the first one. In my opinion, I think it exceeds it just in the number of non-stop jokes, fantasy elements. There's on drugs and dream sequences and all sorts of stuff. So, yeah, Super Troopers 2.
It's a must.
It's a must. Go out and see it. Have some fun this weekend. And, you won't regret it, all right? If you're into that kind of comedy, okay? Don't get mad at me if that's not your thing. All right, guys? So that's it. And we will see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.